a small session on artificial intelligence security, AI security, and understanding the key best practices involved in this process. Okay, I'm Naveen Menon. I'm your host for this session. I bring to you around 20 years of expertise in automation systems, a decade-long experience in cybersecurity of OT and now AI systems. Okay, so when we are talking about, say, artificial intelligence security or AI security, what are we basically discussing here? We are talking about the practices and measures which are basically implemented to protect artificial intelligence systems, again, from threats and vulnerabilities and malicious attacks. So threat is something which can cause you harm. It could basically be of two natures or two parts. One is an actor who does the threat action, and the second is the action that he does to ensure that you are basically harmed. As a part of the malicious attack. So basically he's exploiting some weaknesses, vulnerabilities which are there in your system or in your process. Okay, at the end of it, what we try to aim is to ensure there is integrity, there is confidentiality, there is availability, and safe functioning of the artificial intelligence technologies throughout their life cycle. The life cycle is from acquiring, designing, its operational life cycle, and to the end, until it's decommissioned. So throughout this entire process, what are the key things to be, or key best practices that we need to have to ensure that there is protection for these systems. Again, just refreshing as to why we need to protect it. We need to protect it because the artificial intelligence systems and the data they possess may be targeted by cyber threats and operational risk. And we have to ensure that the key functional safety is there, they function reliably and as intended. Okay, so at the end of the day, if artificial intelligence is giving wrong inputs, so transparency is at risk, biases may come into, and at the end of the day, the overall trustworthiness of your artificial intelligence systems is now at risk or at question. Okay, so when we talk about the key best practices associated with AI security, it aligns to a good extent with the kind of with the kind of risks or threats that are there on that kind of system. So just think about all the threats that we have on your artificial intelligence systems today. It could be data poisoning, because data is one of the key factors which trains your model, which makes your model efficient, which helps it give you correct responses. So the data is the key ingredient in this artificial intelligence systems. So obviously data poisoning is one of the key threat vectors which we need to negotiate, or which we need to circumvent. So countering this data poisoning is one of the key AI security practices that we need to employ. How do we do that? One of the key methods are validating data quality. So when we acquire the data, or when we are collecting this information, the quality of the data is very important to be maintained. So what are the processes that are required for that? Those need to be implemented. And then the monitoring the data pipelines, how the data is flowing, from where it is coming, from where it is going, how is that managed. Basically, we monitor this to ensure that we can prevent any malicious tampering that can corrupt this AI training, because at the end of the day, AI is trained on this data or the inference processes of this particular data, right? So that is the overall thought on countering data poisoning. So you need to have validation methodologies, validating the data quality and monitoring the data pipelines, right? And then preventing this. So that is one of the key AI security best practices. obviously you have adversarial attacks, right? So at the end of the day, all cyber attacks are adversarial in nature to an extent, okay? And so you have to have capabilities of resisting this adversarial attack, which is the second key AI security best practices. Okay, so how do you do that? Using a adversarial training and input filtering to defend your AI models. Okay, from what? From deceptive or manipulative inputs that are designed to cause errors. So you do prompt injection, malicious prompt injections. So it should be in a capable enough to defend against these kind of attacks. So these technologies or these processes are implemented to ensure that we are able to successfully resist the adversarial attack. So using adversarial training and input filtering is a key AI security best practice. Okay, let's go to the third now. Obviously, we talked a lot about the data initially, right? So the data is what? At the end of the day, much of the data which is used within the organization and is being trained for the organization is basically intellectual property, right? It's your key information that you don't want to it to fall in the hands of the of your competitors, right? So protecting these AI models and algorithm. How do you protect somebody from taking this intellectual property? You basically encrypt it. So basically cryptography, that is one way to ensure that only confidentiality is maintained. Second is authentication, obviously. So you ensure that there is authentication processes involved, role-based access controls, other mechanisms which can be put on that. And obviously you have once you have your you put some layers, you need to also monitor the access. You provide access, you should ensure that you should always be aware that there could be an unauthorized access, so you have to monitor the access to prevent theft or unauthorized use of that. So this is a key security best practices number 3. Okay, now confidentiality is important, privacy is also important. So now we have a lot of processes, issues on data privacy, right? So we need to ensure that we enhance the data privacy, okay, and we employ techniques like differential privacy, role-based access control, data encryption, and regular audits to ensure that and secure the sensitive data handled by these artificial intelligence systems. Now, whenever you are using a system, you need governance frameworks, you need accountability. If you want trustworthiness, you need to be in a position. You need to have transparency. If you need to have transparency, you need to have explainable AI frameworks, right? So governance and accountability is key. So maintaining audit trails, defining clear accountability for AI operations and security events is also very important, right? So the entire AI management system and governance and accountability is considered as a key security practice or key security best practices as in. Then what? Then I think we covered some of the important aspects. The next would be obviously supply chain, right? So you have to mitigate supply chain vulnerabilities. Supply chain vulnerabilities is now part of all key cybersecurity, info security processes. So vetting third-party AI components, monitoring dependencies, and using verified software versions to reduce risks, ensuring the authentic patches are downloaded, authentic components are used is very important. Ensuring that from start to end the entire process is managed, risk assessments done, and basically the entire supply chain vulnerability is managed and mitigated effectively is key. So that is one of the key AI security best practices. Also, in AI you have a lot of this. We try to have API accesses and endpoints. So these endpoints and APIs need to be secured, right? So you have to authenticate the API accesses. You have to validate the inputs. You have to do rate limiting and monitoring usage to protect communication channels used by these AI systems. Okay, at the end of the day, you have to have continuous monitoring systems enabled. So you have to establish systems to detect anomalies, unauthorized behaviors, and performance issues in real time for proactive and secure responses. Right. So these are the key, AI security best practices I would like to leave you with, and to think about when you implement your AI systems in a secure way. So we talked about countering data poisoning. We talked about resisting adversarial attacks. We talked about safeguarding the intellectual properties. We talked about enhancing data privacy, governance and accountability. Then we talked about supply chain vulnerabilities, secure APIs, and continuous monitoring. Thank you.